I'm Bobby Healy. I'm the CTO of Cartrawler. We're the largest B2B car rental distribution system actually in the world now, and for car hire. And more recently, in the last couple of years, we've added all forms of ground transportation to that as well. So coach, rail, everything with wheels on it. Airlines would be our largest customer base. We have over 100 international airlines that we exclusively power all of the ground transportation needs. So we're rocking and rolling. We're based in Dublin, Ireland.
I would like to take advantage of the opportunity of talking with someone with such a high technical level to try to better understand all what is behind renting a car. How important is technology? How actually works all the flow?
Well, so the technology stack that we would have does a lot of things. So when a consumer rents a car, the experience looks pretty simple. You get a search product, you list a load of cars, and it looks pretty straightforward. But what's actually going on there, very complex integration between our user interface and the airline user interface or our other partner interfaces. And then there's, below that, when it comes to our middleware, we would run at about 2,500 messages a second out to suppliers, so our volume is enormous. And then within that we do real-time revenue management, so we'll set the price, we'll do all sorts of algorithmic-based selection of cars, of products, so we'll know, for example, if you're more likely to rent a car versus take a coach or a train from the airport. All that decision making, and then the pricing of the product, and then the ordering of the product based on propensity to purchase relative to positioning of other products. Then if you go through our user interface, if you're booking a flight, for example, in one of our partners, Ryanair.com, if you're booking a flight there, we're going to know the nature of your itinerary before we show the banner with the car hire. So we'll know how much are you paying for your flight. Are you paying 20 euros or 200 euros? We'll know if you're traveling with your children. We'll know if you're flexible on fare, or flexible on all sorts of different aspects of the flight fare. And that informs our data science algorithms to choose the most accurate set of products that we will show. So therefore we maximize conversion of from passenger to ancillary product. So it's deeply complex what goes on in the background in the middleware part, although it's a very simplified looking display when you get to the top. So we have over 100 engineers working on that. We're nearly 10 years doing that, and it's just immensely complicated. But commodity products like car hire and bus transfers, it's about the optimizing of the product, continual optimizing of product selection, product pricing, and of course user interface. So user interface, you've got your UX testing, A/B testing, but that goes the whole way down the stack. So if you think about it, it's great I can show you a red or a green button or a triangle or a square, and I can test that 1,000 different times at once, and that optimizes the display. But there's far more value from optimizing the price and the product selection actually, and that's something the consumer isn't aware of. So it's kind of like the Amazon thinking around airline ancillary related products. It's a great business, it's great fun, and there's so much more room to further optimize. And as we add more products to our stable, so most recently we've added an on-demand taxi product, we've added a pre-booked taxi product, so you can use your airline loyalty miles, for example, to book products. So there's different attributes of those products that we then use in our algorithms to see what's best for the consumer.
It's important to understand as well that there could be different levels of integration, or the added value chain is even very complicated. So there are pure software companies that are offering this B2B option. You are a distributor, you have your clients, and you want to begin to offer rent a car. Then you get the technology, but you have to close the deals with the rental car companies, with the suppliers. In other cases, your case as well, you have direct relationship as well with the rental car companies, so you are fulfilling product, not only technology. So it's more.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So we're a marketplace. So all the suppliers on one side, so the car hire companies, the bus companies, the transfer companies, taxi companies, they all look to our marketplace to get distribution. and then we have all the airlines, all the OTAs that provides the distribution. The technology part of that obviously is a technology problem to solve. It's about optimizing, joining it all up and implementing it. But yes, of course, we have a big contracting team that all they do all day long is contract taxi companies, bus companies, car hire companies. So we have car hire in every airport in the world. We have 45,000 car hire locations. And then within the taxi business, obviously all the major urban cities where you need taxis, that's a contracting job. So yeah, and revenue management as well.
I was just pointing out that because one of the startup that was competing in the battleground today, they were actually offering a solution for airlines, etc., to have the technology to distribute rent-a-car.
Yes.
They were forgetting one really important part is having the product. So
yeah, but having the product, most importantly, customer service. You know, we have 250 people. We operate in 40, just doing customer service. So there's a huge cost to do customer service, but it also takes a lot of time to bed it in, to optimize it, to make it work. And it's not enough. It's not enough to supply a bunch of connectors at the bottom level. The connectors are easy to write. So I would say to a startup that's only providing the bottom part of the value chain, I think you need to add on revenue management, you need to add on loyalty integration, you need to add UX integration, you need to add customer service, you need to care about things like NPS, CSAT, etc. So it's not as simple as just adding connectors.
One of the things that you have mentioned, I think it's fundamental, is that you're a marketplace. One of the great mistakes that people tend to do is to mix up a technology supplier with a marketplace, which is actually one of the things that internet has changed completely, has given a scale and the capacity to really mix this B2B2C offer, because Cartrawler is obviously the leader, but it's not so well known from the consumer, because they don't even know that in many cases the company, the car that they are renting has been provided using the technology of Cartrawler.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But that's intentional. We don't want to compete with our B2B partners. So I don't want to compete, for example, with Aer Lingus or with Ryanair for their customer. There's other providers that compete with us that actually target the same customers that they're supporting the B2B relationship with. And that makes no sense. You're either pure B2B business or you're a consumer brand. You can't be both because you have a conflict of interest. So we're a technology provider that airlines and partners fully outsource the entire stack to us, and they can trust us not to retarget their customers or in any way learn or approach their customers in different channels. And I think it's very important that, you know, there's a good reason you've never heard of Cartrawler, because we don't market to you. You can't book a car or any of our products, you can't book them on Cartrawler. But you can get service, as a customer you can get service by the brand, and the brand is a very strong brand, so there's safety around it, but there isn't merchandising or sales. Very, very important. So we're not a customer of Google at all with the Cartrawler brand, whereas our competitors are the biggest customers in the world for Google.
Well, actually we can say that you are like a GDS for rent-a-car.
You know, we took a poke at that. When we started up, our tagline used to be the car rental distribution system, worldwide car rental distribution system. But that's exactly what we are. We provide distribution, but we are slightly different in that we go deeper down and we do the revenue management and all those other contractual relationships with the suppliers. So if you think car hire is a highly fragmented industry, so it would be impossible for an airline to provide a full view of the market by contracting with car hire companies. So they need to outsource that. So we're a little bit more than a GDS, and obviously we're modern technology, so we go the whole way up and the whole way down the stack. I love GDS, so I'm a big fan.
Can you elaborate a little bit more about your latest cooperation with Google?
Well, no, we don't cooperate with Google. Which cooperate?
You were talking that initially we would focus on rent-a-car, but now you have opened to other transportation means. You are obviously adapting to the changes in the traveler habits. How could you do that? Because I mean, it's very complicated from a technical point of view.
Yeah, well actually, if you think about car hire is relevant to about 5% of the customers that we serve. So we power now about 800 million airline customers a year, where we completely control the user interface that's presented to them to sell car hire. But that user interface is only relevant to 5% of customers. So we want a view to get to about 80 or 90% relevancy. So the products that we've added now, the pre-book transfers, the on-demand taxis, the coach, all these different products we've added now get to about 60% relevancy. So that means we're capturing a far bigger share of wallet of the customer on behalf of our airline partners. So it's actually not that difficult if you're a technology company, and we're a technology company. So our platform can pull in any content we want, to be honest with you. The only product that we're not going directly to supply with is hotels. And the hotels, we use a meta search model, so we render it. But it's about, if you think about mobile, right, more than 20% of airline bookings now are happening on mobile, and that's going to be 50% in less than 2 years. So in order to present ancillary products to an airline audience on a mobile device, you must get relevancy correct. So there needs to be a gatekeeper that slows things down, that doesn't let every single vendor just puke stuff up onto the display. So the role, our technology role there is hugely important to make sure that we're serving the right product on the mobile device. So in essence, what you see is airlines outsourcing all non-air ancillary revenue to us, and we choose what's the right product to show. We I've said it before, we are the Amazon in a box for travel products for airlines. And technology-wise, that's in our DNA, but where the work gets bigger is in the contracting and the revenue management. And that's where AI, where machine learning comes in terms of setting pricing, getting pricing right. But there's still a huge effort on the ground to contract, to manage relationships with suppliers, and for customer service. And I kind of laugh at the technology providers that, some of the innovators that are providing connectors. They're doing about 2% of the work that's required. So it's been a challenge, but we're there now. We're going live with 40% of our customers already on all of these products, and we'll get to 100% in the next 12 months.
Okay, thanks a lot for your time and for your insights,
You're
Bobby.
very welcome.
And let's have the opportunity to talk with you in a few months.
In Miami for